Story time continues, part 4. This part of the story gets pretty heavy, so you may want to prepare yourselves for. I'm 25 years old, and I'm sitting at my unborn son's funeral, looking at his casket, watching his mom cry and speak behind the pulpit. I look around on my side of the room, there's nobody, I'm by myself. And on her side of the room are all her family there in support. And she invites me to come up and speak, and I can't. All I can keep telling myself is, this is your fault, this is your fault. And even though I'd never laid a finger on her, we were fighting so much at the time that I was sure it was the stress that caused her to go into labor early. I get a call from my son's mom, and she tells me she's at Primary Children's in Provo. So I leave immediately. The doctors are telling us the odds of our son being healthy when he's born, or even making it to term at all. My son's mom is determined to get him there, so she agrees to bed rest. I visit every day, and every morning we do the ultrasound to check his heartbeat. One fateful morning, they go to look for it, and it's not there. I don't remember much. I just remember slumping against the wall and sliding against the floor crying. Everything outside of that was muted and blurry. It's really hard to get people to understand how that feels if they've never been through that. It's pretty much an emotional healing journey you go alone. And within the same month, lost my car, lost my house, lost my job, and now I'm sleeping on my best friend's floor an hour away from my son. Now, up until this point, I felt like me and the universe had an understanding, and now we don't. I had either been hung out to dry or I had done this to myself. I felt like I had overcome all of the odds, and here I had everything I wanted. Like I said, everything was perfect. I felt like I had the world in the palm of my hands, and I let it slip through my fingers. I went from the man of the house to nobody overnight. At this point, I'm not questioning whether I have value or not, because I'm sure I don't. I'm questioning whether I deserve to live or not after this. And that's when things get really dark. Now, to some, this is going to make total sense, but to others, this is going to sound completely crazy. But a crystal saved my life. That quartz crystal magically kept my light on. I don't know how else to explain it. At night, I would close my eyes and I would almost see like this candle going out, and I think that was my hope or my chi or my will to live. And when I would hold this crystal, I would see it ignite again. I would see the flame grow bigger. And so that, I feel, was a spiritual turning point for me. And mind you, this is 6 months into my depression. Not long after that, I had a couple of friends reach out to me and ask me if I needed investors for my clothing company. And then the mental, emotional, physical turning point for me was having a project that I could focus on and I could get myself off the ground, dust myself off, and get back to life, and maybe still make something of myself. That was my first fall, my first turning point, and my first bounce back. One thing was for certain though, God and I at the time were on non-speaking terms, which would have repercussions of its own later.